going on, people? Today we're going to talk about marketing like a hustler. Now, what is marketing like a hustler? What does that have to do with marketing? I'm going to give you a few examples of what I mean. First example, and I'm going to also go into the mindset. You don't ask for permission when you will get in trouble if you do it today, but you will also make some money. I used to put people on my constant contact list on Craigslist. Now, this is the thing that makes people mad when you don't give value. That was one of the reasons that I was able to get away with that. Now, understand, it's kind of like this Me Too movement. If she thinks that you grabbing her breast is okay, it's not sexual assault. But if you are a troll and she doesn't like you, the popo are coming for you. So just like that, if what you send is so valuable that they don't see it as intrusive, they don't see it as a pain, and many of the people stayed on my list for years until I got rid of it because I wasn't in the business anymore and I didn't have any reason to do it. Because one of the things is, and this is something that I'm learning from my new list, which I'll tell you how to get on it, that having people who want to be there is everything. Open rates close to 50%. I haven't seen that in a long time. Also, your mindset must be correct before you can market like a hustler. Many people get into marketing, sales with somewhat of a lackluster or lukewarm attitude, like, well, I'm just going to try to see this and see what happens. Tell me, how many good things come from that kind of attitude? I mean, like right now, I'm doing an experiment. Valencia and Patty are calling some of you, and it's pretty much, I don't even know what the information is going to be. I'll find out after the live stream, because digging for data is hard. It's kind of gruesome too. But if you want to market like a hustler, you must have the proper mental disposition. You cannot go, well, let's see. Someone asked me, the other day, like, how many times did I list something on Craigslist? And listed until it's sold. There was no, well, I'm going to list it 3 times and give up. I'm going to list it 10 times and give up. I'm going to list it up 20 times and give up. There wasn't that exit strategy that so many of you have, that if something doesn't work out the first round, 75% of you are knocked out the frame. Then the people who keep it going to maybe the second or third round, then that knocks 80% out of you the frame. But the people who keep it going day after day after day are exceptionally rare. Do you want to be a rare person? Do you want to be that rare hustler? Because that's what it's going to take. You cannot have the hustler's mindset and be normal. That's the best way. Like, I'm going to give you a very stark example. When I had my situation and we had to get in front of those people, I made a written vow that I was not going to honor that forced ransom. That's how I looked at it, because we had an agreement of shared custody, which she chose to ignore, and she perpetrated some violence against me. It didn't seem fair that she was going to get what she wanted while just screwing me out of what I wanted. So I was like, I'm going to beat this. 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 And then I'm going to create a backup plan just in case this doesn't work out. Because with the hustler mindset, you're grounded in reality. In 14 months, I fought. Didn't pay a penny. Dismissed. And part of the reason that I don't go full-fledged with that is most men have PTSD. They're shell-shocked. They're not really fit to fight. And I was fit to fight at the time. And that's another thing. If you want to deploy the hustler's mindset, you're going to take care of yourself. It's kind of hard to hustle when you're 350 pounds. It's kind of hard to hustle when you are out of breath going up a flight of steps. it's kind of hard to hustle when you eat so much sugar and bad stuff that your mental processes are not sharp. It's very hard to hustle like that. Trust me, I tried. Well, you got to take care of yourself, and then you also must have big goals, big dreams, big ambitions. You cannot hustle like, I'm gonna make this $300. My goal after eBay did its thing was 30 G's a month from Craigslist. It took me 6 weeks to get to 25 grand. But my back was against the wall. I mean, I couldn't back up no more. I had to make it do what it did, or we would have been out of business. So that was some highly exceptional incentive. Developing the hustler mindset is one of the most challenging things that you will do. Because, see, this is not one I'm going to sugarcoat you and tell you it's okay and it's easy. It is not easy. I used to be like you. I used to be just like you. And now I'm very different. I call myself a mutant, an alien amongst humans because I don't really think like normal people do. I just don't. Like, part of the hustler mindset is creative thought. In every situation, it's a chance for you to be creative. It's a chance for you to take your situation and make the best of it. Question: how many of y'all wake up every day and create a list of 5 to 10 things that you can do to make your life better? Every day. Because, like I said, I got my Betty White hustle going on, but today the cane is gone. The cane is gone, so I'm just Betty White now. But I was Betty White with a bent back and a cane because my hustle was nowhere near elegant. It was not crisp. And today I thought of something else. I was like, oh, because now, and this is not going to be easy, sitting down and forcing yourself to think when you're not used to it. You will get headaches. You'll have to take breaks, and the massive distractions will come out of the woodwork. It was another successful day. I spent exactly 22 minutes on Facebook just catching up on some stuff, and I logged out. Once again, Glendon Cameron, I'm a Facebook addict. I'm on that 12-step program. We'll take it one day at a time because that's the only way I know how to do it. Because this is one of the things that you realize when you employ the hustler mindset. It is not about the big wins. The big wins are nice when they come. They feel good. They're great. But the hustler's mindset is a day-by-day situation. Because if you hustle Monday through Friday, or in the case of a supreme hustler, you hustle Monday through Sunday, you're going to have some money. Always. You're not going to have periods where your car's getting repossessed. You're not going to have periods where I don't know where I need to live. You're not going to have a situation where you're living with some chick because you can't live on your own. And remember, when your name is not on the lease, you are homeless. I've been there. You are homeless. Don't care what the law says. You're homeless. She can get you out if she wants you out. Real easy. Like ridiculously easy. Now, you getting her out, that could be a situation. How many of you have ever thought that you can be more than you are now? I mean, seriously, just how many of you have said, my life sucks right now, but I can be 10 times greater than this, 20 times greater than this, 30 times greater than this? Put that off in the comments, because before I get too carried away, and we had someone ask about this, so we will see. Let me go ahead and click this. The links are below the video, and we'll see how my new setup works right now, because I didn't realize I could do this. Once again, more things. Okay, that worked, but I forgot to do the code, so it ain't gonna work. All right, hold on a second. I will be back. I got a few more questions for you. Who here is better off this year than they were last year? And who here is better off than they were 2 years ago? Who here is worse off than they were a year ago, and who's worse off than they were 2 years ago? And the day is, that's kind of crazy how that did that. So I really want to know. I want to know. Hold on a second. It's doing something crazy. Okay. So let's see. We're just going to go money. Just keep it simple. Every time I try to get complex, doesn't work. Really? Okay. I almost did something crazy there. I'm waiting for your responses. All right. There we go. All right. For those of you who are interested, today you can get any course at Hustlers Kung Fu for 40% off. And the code is money. That is the code. All the links are under the video, or they should be, to get you to the website. But if you want to save 40% off of any course, you want to use the code word money. Money, 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 money. It makes the world go round. So that's the offer for today. All right, so I'm going to get in this chat room because we about to have a little church up in here. Okay. Well, yes, there are some people in here. Ganja88. Chris Monroe, we're in this mug. Conscious Either, what's going on? Randall Riley, good afternoon. T. Leah Osborne, good afternoon. Diana, what's up? AKW Beach, yo. Ken Williams. That's funny. Learning in traffic, awesome. Ken Williams. What's up, community? Young Brandon. Al Gordon. I know, it's hard, community. It's hard. This dude Bakes, what's going on? Wayne Fraser, what's up? Charm Smith, it's a beautiful day. Trey D. Hayes, what's up? Good evening, Johnny Walton. Oh, it's real about that homelessness, Ken. Let's see. Where are we? Okay. Chris Monroe. I know I can do better. None of us know our real full potential. Trey D. Hayes, my life sucks right now. I know I have so much more potential. Nat Sana, I know I can do much better than I am. T. Leah Osborne, I knew I could, but I did not know how. Very, very, very good point. Cashmatic, what's going on? Perceptions me that I have so many talents. My problem is that I try to do all of them. Chris Monroe, I'm better off every year since I started getting my mind right. Perceptions me that I am better off than I was 2 years ago. Steven Jackson, mindset wise, much better. William Watts, much better off. This dude Bakes, better off. Elisa Buckingham, I'm about the same. T. Leah Osborne, I've not moved. Diana Thompson, better. Nat Sana, I'm better. To be honest, right now, I'm worse off than 2 years ago. Let's see. CJ Lee, I am a tad bit better. My marketing creativity suffered because I chose to work in my business instead of on it. That's an important part. Ken Williams, I'm far better off than I was 2 years ago. Glad to hear it. Better off this year working with a budget. Miss 291724, what's up? Carlton, what's going on? The Coleman Show, what's up? Matthew Harris, you got your hand up. Chris Monroe, appreciate the super chat. Ganja, I had to focus more on the process this year. Jalaska, I don't know how to say your name. Catching and selling more fish off my boat for top dollar is my hustle here in Alaska. Oh, you're like the deadliest catch. You're one of those dudes. That's pretty exciting. What's up, Juan? Lewis, learning while broke. Stefan Arza, what's up, Glenn? I was just watching one of your last videos. Very useful. Oh yeah, content's coming. Young Brandon, wow, my mindset's becoming a little bit better because I realized I've been the negative almost my entire life. All right, Lance. Yeah, we're not doing the text notification squad. I addressed that in the previous video. You can testify. All right, so part of this, and going back to what one person said, they didn't know how. And in my case, I didn't even know it was possible. I thought that I would get a job, marry somebody, um, have a regular life. I thought, and I remember my friend Craig. Craig was a dental tech at Fort McPherson. He drove a 300Z. Craig was like GQ smooth. And, we were just sitting there talking about life and stuff. And he said, getting married, having 2 kids, that's the ultimate, right? And, I agreed with him at that point. Today, I don't agree with him. And it's not to say that getting married and producing a family is a unworthy goal. It's not. It's a great thing. But to me, there are other situations that are just as good or better. And I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying that because it's just the way that I'm wired. But getting married and having kids can be a great thing if it's with the right person. If it's with the wrong person, it can be massively miserable. So I went through that whole process, and that boarding house, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, and I remember that day that I was just like, I can't keep living like this. I was full of potential, full of unrealized potential. You know what unrealized potential is? It's like a check that's attached to a bank account with no money in it. You could say whatever you want, but until you do some stuff, till you get some accomplishments, till you get some results, it's just talk. And I remember I was like looking in that bathroom mirror, and it was an old bathroom with, the nice subway tile. And it was pretty retro, but it looked really good. And I was in the mirror and I was just like, you can't live like this no more, man. You can't keep talking about what you're going to do. You're going to have to do it, or you're going to have to shut up. And that's when I started to produce results. Now, also during this moment, understand the results don't usually come very quick. And one of the reasons is you have so much residue from making the wrong decision, hanging around the wrong people, that it's going to take a minute to undo all that stuff. So that's why when you get on the right path, the results are not instantaneous. Because I started to develop the right mindset, but it was about 7 to 8 weeks before stuff really started clicking. Let's see. Diana, click the bell. Yeah, click the bell. Young Brandon, I had to listen to Becoming the Boss more than once to make it sink in. Well, this is one of the things. With the courses, you should listen to them 5, 6, 7 times. You should put them in, well, if you got an MP3, I don't even know. You should listen to it as often as you can if you've got like the unlimited plan or some Wi-Fi in your car. Short change. I'm better off this year. Learn to manage my money. Pay yourself first. That's good. Trey D. Hayes, can you speak on your military experience if it contributed to your success today? Well, you know how some people are career soldiers? Some people are just very military. Even when they get out, they're still very military. That wasn't me. I will say that I had a lot of good habits before I even went in the military. And I would have to really think, what did the military teach me that I didn't know? Because, living in my mom's house, you had to make your bed. I'm going to say the exposure to new people, the exposure to new cultures, and learning that at an early age was pretty much the biggest benefit and life changing. Because if I had stayed in Alabama, I would still be Alabamian, narrow minded, not really thinking outside the box. So I will say, yes, the military broadened my horizons. It brought me in contact with people from around the world. And without that, I probably wouldn't be the person I am today. But in terms of, I wasn't a lazy person. I mean, I really have to unpack it because I already had discipline. I got more discipline in the military. I will give you that. But once I got out, my military bearing, I never really had a military bearing. I was just trying to go to school on the GI Bill. That was my deal. Ken Williams, a big thing is if life progresses, so do circumstances. Money got far better when I started working for myself. Amen. Same thing. I never made this kind of, well, actually, I started working for, I was a commissioned salesperson, so I was kind of self employed. But a regular job, a W 2 situation, I never made this kind of money. Money got far better when I started working for myself, then recently had a son, which is a blessing, but offsets the monetary increase. Well, congratulations, Ken. Johnny Walton, this is why this year I had to shut up and put up. I mean, it's a moment. What's up, Charlene McKinney? Yes, young Brandon, you got to do that. I wish there was a way to consume your course in a way that I can put it in a playlist and lock my phone screen. Um, Kind of thought about that. I would have to create an app. So that may be something that will happen in the future. What's up, Perceptions Media? Now, another thing that you need to do to develop the hustler's mindset, and then I discovered this really, really late in life. You need to have a higher purpose, and this isn't a religious thing. A higher purpose, like my situation I told you about in the beginning. My higher purpose was I'm not paying that ransom. That is blood money. Do you understand how difficult she would be if she got to assault me, skip out of town with our child, do all this stuff, and then get paid for it? Do you understand what a nasty person she would be? How difficult she would be? Because, what's that thing? If you don't know, you're going to learn today. And she learned some stuff, and I'm quite sure she's still learning some stuff. Because to me, it's fundamentally unfair. So my higher purpose was I was not going to get ganked twice. Like, I ganked on the fact that she left town, but I was like, no. This ain't happening. No, this ain't happening. And I made it happen. And the thing is, this is actually a good point because I knew some things about the law, but I didn't know anything about family law. I was in that law. I used to go to family court and sit and watch proceedings. I used to go to the law library. I was down there at the Fulton County Courthouse so much the guards was like, hey, how you doing? They thought I worked there. But once again, let's unpack that situation. And this is one of the things that you, in time, don't quit your job today, but you got to be able to break away from your job to have time to be yourself. Because fortunately, I made enough money to sustain myself while also spending sometimes 8 to 12 hours down there at the courthouse. But as a friend who held me down during this situation, we talked about it. He said, well, man, you had the means to make money and the time to go and fight for your best interest, because the average dude couldn't have did that. And I'm not saying average in intelligence. I'm saying that anybody with a job, I was like, oh, I need to take off 2-3 times a week so I can go down to the courthouse, so I can go to the legal library. You didn't have the time. I mean, that's why a lot of men just get stuck. They get screwed because it's like, to fight for your money, you have to lose money because you got to take time off from work. It's a sticky situation. And that's why a lot of men just capitulate, because they're boxed in. Whereas I wasn't boxed in because I developed a hustler's mindset, and I got myself into a situation where I was free. I was free to be me. I don't really know how to explain that, but definitely free to be me, free to explore, free to build, free to create, free from doctrines. And that's another reason I cut back on Facebook, because you know what? My personality was starting to change. I was starting to care way too much about stuff of little consequence. And it was so insidious how it happened. And I was like, okay. And that's what I'm saying. I'm getting back in my natural mind, so to speak. Oh, thanks, Charlene. There will be more. The app upload. Is it true you can't tell how much you make off YouTube? Instead of myth? You can't tell your CPM. But another thing, and once again, these millennials sharing everything. If you went up to the average person and say how much money you make, they may look at you a little funny. But no, you can tell. And one of the reasons is this became very controversial, and this is a very hot trending YouTube topic, like how much I got paid from YouTube. You got people, million views just off that. So no, it's not true. They can't tell your CPM, because CPMs, what they vary wildly. My CPM is 5 times higher than other people's, because I looked at someone's channel who has like 750,000 views a month, right? Their AdSense check is like 250. I was like, whoa. Let's see. Young Brandon, any tips on how to develop the same military discipline on the outside? It's pretty much going back to that purpose. Because if you're trying to do something on willpower and you don't have a purpose, you don't have a determination, it's just going to fall apart. So you got to find something. And I know this is very cliche, but something that you die for. You need to find that. That's going to be the thing that's going to drive you and produce the discipline where it doesn't. Because the thing is, you ever see somebody, it's like it's happened in real life, but you ever see in the movie that this person, they become obsessed, and all of a sudden they can do all this crazy stuff. They can find you. They be showing up in your house. They be hacking your credit card. It's just like when a person is very, very determined, there's very many things they can't do. So you got, instead of looking at like trying to develop discipline for the sake of discipline, develop discipline for something higher than you. Tanya Robson, I seriously wouldn't come this far. I'm doing better if it wasn't for listening to you, Glendon. Thank you very much. Much love. Appreciate that, Tanya. Trey D. Hayes, cool. I don't have much discipline right now. Yes, family law is a racket, man. Chris Monroe is a racket. T. Lee Osborne, I need sales experience, but I'm working in accounting and I'm a licensed life and health insurance, and I'm W-2 slave. All right, so you got your license to sell insurance. Why aren't you selling insurance? What's up, rugged collars? I mean, that's the real deal. It took me 5 years to quit my job. That's reality. The JWB, the freedom is the most valuable thing. I gotta say, it is, because I don't think I could ever work another job again. And it isn't because there aren't great jobs out there. It's just I like doing my own thing. CJ Lee, I work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. so I can run my business and I'm still drained. I have the daytime hours, but I'm running on a fraction of the energy. At some point, you're going to have to hire an employee. I know what you're trying to do, but at some point, that's going to have to happen. Broderick, I think there was a point that happened recently where I'm not only quit jobs, but I stopped looking for them. You know something that I used to do? I don't know when I stopped it, but even when I was doing the ultimate upscale garage sale, I still used to look at my old job and just look at what the income was. I don't know what that was about, but I haven't looked for a job that time after my second year with GC Solutions, and I made all that money and none of it was mine, and I was thinking about working for Orkin, and my boy Mario clowned me. He clowned me hard. He clowned me real hard. Sheila Cutnew definitely sucks now. Wow. Stefan Arzo, you're talking about being free to be yourself right at right at the time music started playing at the McDonald's started evoking emotions. I got out of there before I started. Well up. Chris Monroe, sales cures all problems. True. Erica Williams, that sounds like a Lifetime movie. She will find you. Great info of the day, stuck in traffic in Austin. Well, once again, go ahead with the hustler mindset. The hustler's mindset is essentially you're not, the only thing you're going to let stop you is death. That's pretty much it, because I was very, very determined. And if and when she does find me and catch up with me, there's another layer to this process. I knew how to create corporations for my business partner, but this stuff that I've learned, because we're in the United States of America, right? If you want to live and be inside a corporation, you must be corporate. And see, time is a very important thing, because, while she's playing keep away, I'm playing keep my money away. I can walk in the courtroom right now and they can ask me how much money I made, and I can say I'm indigent. And they can't prove that I make any money. And one of the reasons, and the thing is with the hustler mindset, is you look at the thing. You look at what they're going to do. And this is where you got to be really, really real. Because once I realized I had lost, I didn't know I had lost until someone, I had just lost. She moved out the state, game was over. But one of the things is, I remember a sheriff, he told me, he said, what you did is going to really help you, because when she calms down, she's coming after you. And this is true. He was right. And I listened to people. I didn't act like I knew everything. I listened to people and I looked at the law, and there's certain provisions in the law where I can get away with this. So that gives me comfort to know that she can never, ever come after me hard. She can come after me. But once again, because I am free, because I make my own economy, because I make my own money, I don't have a job that she can just go slip this paper to and they start taking out my check. That don't happen. I don't even have a checking account where she can do that. Maurice Anderson, people still think like W-2 slaves. A little bit. T. Leah Osborne, I don't know how to sell insurance. I work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wow. What's up, Sheila Mims? I haven't. Let's talk about money for a brief minute. I don't get paychecks. I don't get a monthly paycheck. I don't get a week paycheck. I get my money another way, and we'll talk about that later. But I got away from paychecks, and I started looking at projects. What project could I do, and how much money could I make off this project? Because I don't have any W-2s, and I've not taken any money out of this company as a manager. Nope. So the money thing, because once you understand the law, and you understand how it works, because you have these rappers and these famous people who are buying these $300,000 cars, $400,000 cars, having like $500,000 around their neck. And you can't do that stuff and then go to child support court and say you broke, unless you got a plan. What's up, Benny? Chris Monroe, you got a situation. That's right. I'm indigent too. The only money I get is my military disability. Erica Williams, I don't know. I meant about people getting focused. You're doing an amazing job. Thanks. Perception Media, you're pretty much on time with this. Being in America in business is more beneficial than being an employee. Let me just go ahead and put it out to you. The next, regardless of what happens to Trump, the next 5 years are going to be pivotal for people who own businesses. We just had this horrendous shooting in Florida, right? And I don't talk about it. I did my video on Facebook, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because policy is not going to solve the problem. We have a culture that doesn't value human life. That's the real problem. How many of you grew up with guns in the house? You know, how many of you like 30, 40, 50 years old, you grew up, there was a gun or there was guns in houses? And how many of you got in a fight or you had a disagreement, not quote, a beef? Did you even think to get that gun and go handle some business? It never occurred to me. I had people teasing me, mocking me. It never occurred to me to go get a gun and go back to school and start shooting people. It never occurred to me because I had a fundamentally healthy regard for human life. And that's something that's missing. And until we solve that problem, and also don't even get into the fact that there's so many guns out there that gun ban, no problem. I know from, if I hadn't been in the storage auction business, I would not know this. But they can put a gun ban in effect today. And you know what will happen? The price of illicit guns will skyrocket. That's what's going to happen. You still can get them. Let's see. Louis, so I hear these kind of stories, bad relationships. When I'm thankful I met a good woman 27 years ago. I mean, you gotta be thankful that you have someone reasonable and normal. My cousin's got full-time custody of son. Times are changing. She must be struggling financially. Well, one can, see, this is the thing, because I hear a lot of people. I got custody. Once someone leaves the state, then you got to go to where they are, and there's this thing that's called a homestead doctrine or something like that, where they're not going to remove that child from that homestead unless I can prove abuse or some other kind of neglect. And trying to do that in another state, because I even hired some private detectives, that was ridiculously expensive. So I don't think she's a crazy person. I don't think she would do anything bad. So essentially, it'd be real hard. And also, she lies. All she has to do is say he's an abuser. The system activates. So I know I have a friend, a neighbor really. He spent $260K getting his kid. Let me say that again, $260K. You know when the divorce attorneys settled? When both he and his wife were out of money. That's when they settled. It's a racket. Rona Stalker, the best way to get sales skills is to get a sales job. If you're going to suck, but you'll be grateful later. I mean, that's really it. Because the thing is, understand how I got my job at Rent-A-Crate. I did not ask for permission. I didn't even care. I was just like, I got to make this happen. And once I get in, I'm going to bust my hump to do a good job. But I didn't ask for permission. You can't, because it's like, how do you get good sales? How do you get sales experience? Start selling stuff. It's wide open, but once again, a lot of people are scared. ePimp, programming your mind with a standard of mediocrity will make you comfortable with selling for less. Pretty much. Benny, my parents were entrepreneurs for most of their adult life. My dad, 4th grade dropout. My mom, 11th grade dropout. Both did very well, only in America. That's what Don King said, only in America. How many of y'all remember Don King? He was like vilified. He made hundreds of millions of dollars off of Mike Tyson. Hundreds of millions. Let's see. Titan Moore, well done, bro. I have a mad ex that won't let me see my child. Never put me on the birth certificate, but she's still trying to get child support. These women are nuts. It's a crazy thing. Driller, 50 Cent. Like, once again, understand this thing about corporate law and LLCs and limited partnerships and trust and all this stuff. These things have been on the books for centuries. Let me say, these things have been on the books for centuries. And the people that they benefit the most are the ultra wealthy, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, the 0.3%. And because they have so much money, power, and influence, they're never going to change these laws. Look what the NRA is doing to Congress right now. They're like, oh, we ain't even going to mess with the NRA because we need that money. So if you go ahead, and how do you deal with one system? The child support thing, family court is one system. How do you deal with a massive system? You find a bigger and better system, and that's the corporation system. Each state's a corporation. The United States of America is a corporation. Bigger system, older doctrine, older law. Family court can't mess with that. And as Erica said, times are changing. So they're not messing with that. They're just not. Chris Monroe, love my guns. Ron the Stalker, yes. Check out 45. Diana Tunnel, yes, sir. I grew up with guns. Wayne Frazier. Louis the Seller, I was surrounded by guns. 45 in structured plans. He's setting up the future for his grandkids. Yes, he is. Think about enlisting to get myself on the right track. I would say this. I used to be like, join the military. And that's before we got in all these conflicts. I would say build your discipline your own way. Find something that motivates you so much that you can't stop thinking about it, because that's what's going to produce the discipline for you to do the things you need to do. My opinion of the military has changed because there's just too many senseless, needless wars. And we got too many young people just dying over nothing. Now, if you're going to go that route, I would go into the Air Force or the Navy. I wouldn't, I was in the Army. I enjoyed my time there. But Air Force, you have to have the highest ASVAB scores to get in there anyway. The job training they give you prepares you for more jobs out here. The Air Force Academy has its own, because we had people from the Navy, Coast Guard, and Army, and Marines come to my 92 Bravo school, but the Air Force had their own course. They had their own school. So I think if you're a nurse in the Air Force, you can come out and be an LPN. I'm not sure, but I think you can. Is it more guns or cell phones in America? That's a good question. I would say there are more, because I know it's high on both of them. But I'm going to probably say what I know about guns, there are probably more guns. Probably. Tony Ronson, yeah, it never occurred to you. Wayne Frazier never thought to use them. None of us did. That's what I'm saying. There's a fundamental disregard for human life that is in this current culture. Benny, I'm mid-40s, no guns, no school shootings in the 80s. First school shooting was like 1989. Rona, I'm from Michigan. I learned how to shoot at 11. Gotcha, I need to learn how to shoot it. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the NRA, it ain't going to happen. There will be no ban. It's not going to happen. Maurice, that's hilarious. I don't think it's that hard. Let's see. The rise of the ghost guns. Chris Isaac, Glendon, in the video that you put out yesterday when you were being very direct, are you going to upload it? What do you mean, Chris Isaac? I'm going to say Lance, because I think that's LJ Alaska. My fish's business is booming. What I catch is all sold before I even hit the dock. Takes me 2 days to get 5,000 pounds, and I get $5 to $7 a pound. I plan on retiring from my day job of 22 years. I'm only 40 years old. Man, that's some rough stuff. Congratulations. Chris Monroe, Don King is still the man. He also supports Trump. Don King does anything that gets attention. Yes, he had to go to Virginia. He was in NC. His ex-wife didn't get his son's hearing aids, and he reported her. Oh, they got a special needs kid, and she wasn't taking. Oh, man, that's crazy. What kind of woman is she? And see, it was his ex-wife. We were never married. Believe me, I learned a whole bunch of stuff about that because If you're married and you get divorced, you got way more rights than someone who's never been married. Sheila Mims, I've worked as a surgical tech since 2006, got injured at the VA. I've been on federal workers' comps for 3 years, not to be trying to be a slave to anyone. Wow. Eric Williams was bullied in school, never thought about shooting anyone. I started playing sports and folks moved on to someone else. You know what? I'm not going to say they're paid actors. I just think that it's disgusting, deplorable that people start saying these things because, in the era of fake news, the person who coined the term fake news puts out the most fake news. I just have a feeling that a lot of those kids are not paid actors. And I think why people are coming up with this because these kids are very articulate because that's a well-off school. You know that school's in a wealthy neighborhood. You know that, right? That's why all these kids, you ever notice that they're so articulate? Because that's a high-end school. Your education dollars at work. Chris Monroe, I did my 6 years, 2000, 2006. I mean, seriously, I just really changed my tune on the military. Oh, yes, the NRA has a lot of power. I used to be a member of the NRA, and they hit you up no less than 20 times a week asking you for money. 20 times. And then I will say their marketing is on point. They get that money. Let's see. I think they do. Oh, the Air Force is very, very choosy. Bangladesh, 15 guns for every person. I knew it was high. Yeah, Trump's a madman. Yep, because like I said, you got to have the highest scores to get in the Air Force. I think mine was like 123. I didn't know what I could have done. Oh, I mean, there's a whole thing that I'll do on my Disruptive Mail channel. Let's see. Thriller Ali, although the black community has their own cultural problems, I've never seen anyone from that community committing mass shootings of schools and churches and society thinks we're the problem. As one of my good friends said, the problem with black people is our marketing department is whack. And what it means is those of us who get the most attention are the most dysfunctional and the craziness. And it's just a small percentage of us, but they represent us in terms of marketing. And it's messed up, but that's what happens. All right, so how many of you have something that you would die for or someone you would die for? Really? Texas said no to the NRA? That is bad. Seriously, that's a serious question. Because I'm not trying to be all morbid and everything, but until you get to that type of situation or that type of determination, you're just not going to develop the hustler's mindset. I had a lot of things to fight for. I have a lot of things that philosophies now that guide me, but it is that deep. Chris Monroe, the media controls the narrative. Yes, because let's talk about all these affairs that people know about but never made the news that Trump had. Very interesting. AKW Beats. I live about 7 miles away from that school. Parkland, Coral Springs is a very wealthy area. Oh, I knew it as soon as I heard those kids talking. And see, once again, talking about economic racism, which is what it is. Because I read this article and I really agree with it, that the middle class and the upper middle class, just say the upper middle class, is trying to keep everyone from getting there. And it starts with schools. They suck up more resources, they fight, they show up at school meetings, and they actually use government dollars to educate their kids while leaving these other schools who really need that money deficient. It's really, really wicked. I should post it. Let's see. My boys, my children, nieces and nephews. Wow. Well, I mean, when you get to that kind of determination, when you get to that level of passion, real passion, you tend to find ways. You really do. But as long as you're really comfortable and you don't have to power up and you don't have to amp up, like whenever, I'll do it whenever. Like today, I had to go, I completed like 5 tasks that had been on my to do list, and they weren't particularly hard. I just didn't want to do them. I do nothing lazy side. And I've got like probably 6 or 7 more things, and I'll finally be finished with this list. Sheila Cutno, my mind is strong, always room for improvement. So, which course do you recommend for broke dick Priscilla? Starting out, who's been a distributor for it? Yes, my friend is awesomely breast. That's funny. All right, so what I'm going to do, I got an announcement. Let's see. All right, so any course today is 40% off. The link's below. And this is probably going to end at some point because what I'm doing, and let's get into the Hustlers Kung Fu console, is courses, single courses, pretty much going to be $99 to $500 across the board. I've done some of them, but I haven't done most of them. So yes, but today you can go ahead and get 40% off of anything at Hustlers Kung Fu. The link's under the video. And then I'm going to do some other stuff because I'm getting ready to go in here and talk to Patty in Valencia real quick. And these are your orders. Oh, yeah, to answer your question, I would, if you're penniless Priscilla, I would jump on the Never Broke Action Pack. That's what I would do. Because it's got asking for the money in there, baby. Disruptive money, the hustler's mindset, pimping your mind. There's some other stuff too. But if you want to, it's 40% off. The code word is money. I didn't say that. It is MONEY, lowercase, money, for you to grab your bundles or courses or whatever you want. Also, I made a few decisions, so this is kind of like cleanup. I really focused on the cryptocurrency channel, and I really looked at it, and essentially my heart is not in it. I mean, I'm curious about cryptocurrency. I just think most of it's going to be ultimately worthless. There'll probably be a few that'll be valuable and usable, but most of it's just going to be worthless. And I'm just like, I really don't want to dedicate the time or the energy to it. So that's not happening. What's up there, I'm going to leave it up there. And I'm just going to go with my first bond, which is to create, because I don't have a list here, but Digital Citizen is going to be how to write a book, how to write blogs, how to create. It's going to be Digital Citizen, how to create content that makes you money online. That's what it's going to be. And I actually like that. How to create content that makes you money online. That's going to be podcasts. That's going to be YouTube channels. That's going to be writing books. That's going to be blogging and all these nuances that go with that. So that's what Digital Citizens is going to be about. I am not doing the crypto thing. You know what? I'm better. I haven't even looked at the price of Bitcoin lately. What is that? What is it? Let's see. All right. What is it? Oh my. This is interesting. This actually kind of confirms my decision. Last time I looked at Bitcoin, it was trading at 12. Now it's like 10,385. So whatever rise it had, it went down rather quickly. Now, once again, the one person bought $400 million worth of Bitcoin, bought like 40,000 Bitcoin. That's market manipulation all day. And I just, figure I would be better off building sustainable, evergreen, long-term content than doing a trendy thing, because I'm going to get into my philosophy of wealth building. And you can make a lot of money on the internet very fast with trends. I should say that, as my fiduciary duty to educate you, you can make a lot of money with trends. I don't want to do trends. And I think cryptocurrency will always be here, the blockchain will always be here, but this mania, this craziness around it, that will not always be here. And I just don't feel, I really don't want to get into it. So that's not going to happen. But for those of you, it will stay digital citizen, and I'm just going to put up some better videos, things that I really care about. That makes sense. Let's see. Sheila Mims, all that stuff will be on Digital Citizen. Many cryptos will fail. The ones to rebuild the internet altogether will last the most. I would say that, yeah. Oh, we got writers up in the camp, Tanya. I'm going to stick with content, Ken Williams. One of the first videos is going to be like how I made $1.5 million from my self-published book to get the channel really bumping. It's going to be not e-commerce, because e-commerce is not digital citizen. Let me give you the concept of digital citizen. I'm a digital citizen because I make all my money from digital content, books, courses, YouTube channels, books. I mean, anything like that. So something that comes from your creative space that will be on digital citizen. So it will not include e-commerce, because e-commerce is commerce. It's just online, but many of the same things that go into starting a successful business out here, they kick into it on that. So e-commerce, no. Print on demand, yes. Print on demand is part of digital citizen. So that type of stuff. Oh, I agree, Chris Monroe. You got it, Diana Thompson. I'm like Levinsky. I let it go. I had some people try to suck me back in, but I was like, I got too much to do. Alaska Premium Fish Company. You go ahead, Lance. Thriller, you're going to talk about not having a W-2 projects over paychecks. Well, let's see. That's kind of, I thought I had talked about it, but essentially, I've been out of the job system. All right, let's just take this for what it is. I haven't had a job in 18 going on 19 years. And with that, I have become accustomed to not getting a weekly paycheck. This is not something I suggest you try in the immediate future. I suggest you get a hustle on the side, get your weekly paychecks or bi-monthly paychecks, and then slowly transition off into getting paid on projects. Because this is one of the reasons I have all of these checking accounts and this stuff, because, I mean, sometimes I've been living off my consulting money. So that's it. Good deal, Stefan. Yeah, because I'm not messing with e-commerce, because I don't do e-commerce, and that's one of the things that that's the reason people like when I got out of the e-commerce groups and stuff, and people are like, oh, no, I don't do it. I don't do it anymore. I do this. No, I'm not even going to keep trolling Bitcoin. I'm not. I'm going to leave them alone. It's almost like a religion. I'm just, because the thing is, doing the audit of my activities and my time, I was just spending a lot of time in places that didn't make me money, and that had to stop. So, oh, I actually have people who find me, because you know how my business consulting career, someone like called me up and was like, hey, could you talk to me? How much? Send me a PayPal invoice, and that started it. I am more about, like, there's this book that I'm going to write, 7-figure content. And that's going to be part of the thing with the digital citizen. Because I spent about 2 hours mapping that out today. I didn't give up on Shopify. I just realized that it didn't really fit into what I was doing. Because this is one of the things, I got this term hustling backwards. So I have all of this knowledge and information and stuff over here. Then I'm going to go over here and try to do this thing. And essentially I'm staying in my own lane. That's what I'm doing. There's some more books I want to write. I just have been doing all this other stuff. I've been distracted. And I'm getting back because, like I said, this week I felt more like myself than I have in years, if that makes any sense. And I'm letting the distractions go. I'm stopped trolling, and I'm getting into content creation and creating stuff. I got Patty and Valencia doing stuff, so it's just going to be much better. So with that, I gotta go. I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't know if there's going to be any videos during the day. I'm not sure about that, but definitely I'll be here for the live stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. So thank you for joining me. What? I'm not a fan of Shopify. You have to work it to get customers. At least with Amazon and eBay, they send you some traffic for their high fees. That they do. So with that, thanks for joining me. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and be sure, before I forget, you can use your 40% off. The code is MONEY. It's lowercase MONEY. You can get any course at Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills for 40% off. So with that, I will catch you guys later.